Hello and welcome to the College Investor Audio Show. We are so honored that you're here today. Today we discuss the 6 elements of a solid personal financial plan. Going to be amazing, but before we get to it, let's just remind you that you can hit that subscribe button so you're always informed on when we post new content, and we do all the time. You can also follow us all over social media. We're pretty much everywhere you are. Just search for the words The College Investor and you'll find us. All right, let's get to it. So, are you ready to take control of your financial future? Probably. You don't need a financial advisor to develop your own financial plan, though. Really. In fact, you are the best person to put one together. So, when you're directly involved in mapping out your own finances, you're really going to be more likely to actually stick with your goals. And plus, you'll have a keen awareness of where you stand financially and, of course, what's going on in your pocketbook to take you to the next level. So here are those 6 elements of a strong financial plan. Number 1, super strong, meaningful goals. What's the point of having a financial plan if you don't have any goals, right? There isn't one. There's no point to it. If you want to make headway financially, you need goals that are strong enough to inspire you to action. Goals are what allow you to practice delayed gratification. So for instance, if you have a goal of paying off $3,000 worth of credit card debt in 6 months, you know that if you spend $30 on a new shirt, you don't need it all. You're just robbing yourself of freedom, debt freedom. So those strong goals are what keep me in check, actually. Once I'm committed to a particular goal, short-term sacrifices are pretty easy to make. So start with those strong goals. It's near impossible to map out a personal financial plan if you don't have a strong goal to begin with. And by the way, if you want to find out how to put goals into motion, you can check out the article called How to Keep Your Goals and Achieve Results. It's right at thecollegeinvestor.com. All right, so here's number 2, an awareness of income and expenses, aka a budget. All right, so next comes either the fun or horrid part, depending on your personality, of course. I'll go ahead and be the first to admit that I don't like strict budgeting. However, I'm very aware of what I spend my money on. There's no right or wrong way to budget. There just isn't, and don't let anybody tell you there is. You just need to find what works the best for you. It's like saying the best tasting coffee is fill in the blank. And I'm a coffee snob. I know the best coffee is the one that I make. But in reality, it's just the coffee that you like that's the best. Same thing with budgeting. The budgeting way that you like is the best way. Just make a budget. Let's talk about the common ways to do that. The zero-based budget is one. So a zero-based budget is where you map out where every single penny goes before you even get it. You're essentially spending your money before it even hits the bank account. With a zero-based budget, every dollar has a purpose. Saving from the top is another way to do this, which works wonderfully for those who don't like the zero-based budget. It's just to skim from the top. With this style, you meet all of your financial goals before you spend any money on bills or other expenses. So for instance, you'll have money automatically put in investing, savings, or debt payoff accounts. You're allowed to spend everything else. That's what I do. This method is also great if you lack discipline. You'll automatically meet your financial goals without ever having to lift a finger. Bottom line, there are a ton of different ways to budget. The method you use doesn't really matter. What matters is that you're hyper aware of your income and expenses and are able to trim the fat where necessary and just move those savings toward your goals. By the way, if you want a free tool to help you, we suggest Empower to keep track of all your income and expenses. You can find a link to that in reviews and all that kind of stuff at thecollegeinvestor.com. Number 3, of our 6, you need a decent emergency fund before starting on your other goals, like accelerating your debt payoff, even saving for a house, or even saving for retirement. Emergency funds come in handy, and they're going to prevent you from paycheck to paycheck living. Most financial experts recommend 3 to 6 months worth of cash set aside for emergencies. I agree, but ultimately your emergency fund needs to be whatever makes you feel comfortable. When saving an emergency fund, you can also factor that if you did lose your income, your expenses would probably be a lot lower. I know I'd be slashing expenses like crazy if I didn't have any income coming in, right? All right, so number 4, savings, investing, debt payoff plan. The order depends on your specific situation. After you've reached your desired emergency fund amount, it's time to really accelerate your goals. This is the fun part, by the way. If you have high interest debt, credit card debt, paying that off should be your main focus. Once that's done, you can choose to pay off lower interest rate debt or move on to saving and investing, whatever. Look, we all live different lives and have different mindsets. I can't tell you what you should be working on. You need to figure out what means the most to you and then go all in on it. However, one thing you need to be aware of is retirement savings. You should have a retirement savings plan as one of your goals. You can take all that cash you've been funneling toward your emergency fund and spread it between your financial goals. Let's take a look at number 5. The right kinds of insurance. Won't wish you had it until you need it. Insurance is often overlooked in a strong financial plan. And the truth is, without the right type of insurance, all of your hard work could go down the drain with one accident. It can literally happen in seconds. We're all just one phone call from our knees, by the way. Don't skimp on insurance. Some insurances that you absolutely need. Auto insurance, of course. If you have a car, you shouldn't go without auto insurance. It's kind of the law. If you have a lot of assets, just make sure you have high liability limits on your auto policy. Homeowners insurance. If you own a home, you already know how important this is. Once again, your liability limits need to be high enough to protect you should someone get injured on your property. Health insurance. A major health problem could bankrupt you. This is legit. And this is the one insurance that you do not want to be without. If you're without health insurance, I'd recommend that you look into getting an inexpensive, high-deductible plan, especially if you're young and healthy. You'll pay a lot up front with a high-deductible health plan, but in the event of a major medical issue, your insurance is going to save you from financial catastrophe. And then, life insurance. For some reason, it seems that life insurance is the most skipped over insurance out there. I don't get it. If you have a family that you want to protect, then you absolutely need life insurance. And a lot of times, it's cheap. Of course, everyone's situation is different when factoring how much life insurance you need. Think of how your spouse, kids would be impacted financially if something happened to you. At the very least, you should get enough coverage to pay off your mortgage. And thanks to technology, getting life insurance has never been easier. As a side note, real quick, I would highly recommend that you get a term policy over a whole life policy. Kind of hard to beat the price and the protection that term policies offer. Number 6, increase your income strategy. Last but certainly not least is a strategy for increasing your income. For a lot of people, expenses aren't really the problem. It's income. If you're making $20,000 a year, you're never going to get ahead. You need to get creative and actively look to increase your income. It takes hard work and maybe some hustle, but anyone can do it. You just have to have the right attitude. By the way, we have 50+ side hustles just to get you thinking about it at thecollegeinvestor.com. Review your financial plan often. As time goes by, your goals and insurance needs are going to change. Review your financial plan often and readjust whenever necessary. And that is our show for today. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope it was helpful to you. If it was and you're like, man, my friend could use this, please feel free to share this with anybody, and we would greatly appreciate it. You can also follow us again. Just search for The College Investor. You'll find us all over social media. Take a look at thecollegeinvestor.com for all the links and all the resources we have for you. There's a ton of stuff there, including that 50+ side hustles to get you thinking. It's all at thecollegeinvestor.com. Thanks again for stopping by today, and we'll talk to you again real soon.